Your baby got lore dumped on the recent Splatoon gossip. Yeah, it all dropped on Friday night, Saturday. I forget. It was one of those nights because I was reading a bunch of it on my train ride home. Oh, thank you for the hydrate reminder. I've not had water since starting stream. So there was this and I've like talked vaguely about this off and on. I've never wanted to get into details because I've always felt that one of the main problems for this specific case and issue was that a lot of things became public that I thought should not have become public, even though it was one of the parties involved making a lot of it public. I was still like, I don't like how public this has become because I really honestly feel like a lot of it is a personal matter and does not need to be aired out so publicly. But essentially, so Splat Safety, the Splat Safety Council is this grassroots organization that's been around for, 5 or so years now, thereabouts. As sort of like an organization that people can report people to and then have like a case opened up for people at Splat Safety to investigate, and then Splat Safety can make a call on whether or not a person should be banned or like face some kind of consequence. And you know, it's like this idea that tournament organizers do not have the time or resources to be doing these investigations themselves. And also, like, it's so exhausting as a target of harassment to have to, like, individually contact a bunch of organizations and, like, continually tell them, like, recount what happened. And, yeah, wouldn't it be so much easier if just, like, a singular group could be the ones putting out that info for you privately to TOs and whatnot. There have been a lot of criticisms of Splat Safety over the years, some legitimate criticisms that I've agreed with, and some just bonkers stuff I don't agree with. And there's been a lot that's been done by one of the people in this conflict, in this particular case, that sort of became public around this time a year ago. And one of the people doing a lot to assert that they thought Splat Safety had really done a lot of harm to them and did not have the community's back, essentially. It was not a safe place to report harassment to. People can, you know, come to their own conclusions. I disagree with this. But, you know, there are some ways in which I totally understand how people would be like, I'm a little uncomfortable going to Splat Safety. So, like, I get it. Just a lot of the times I'm like, there are many cases where I'm like, this is disinformation. Like, there are legit criticisms to be had, but there are also a lot of illegitimate criticisms to be had. And Splat Safety put out a huge document and a 2-hour video, sort of like trying to clear their name, since their name's been really dragged through the mud for the last year. Largely because of a lot of this case, and how, you know, one of the people involved in it has done a lot of spreading of, if not blatant disinformation, then just like a lot of spreading of things that I would say are not really the complete truth and keep getting weaponized by people who are actively doing disinformation. And so there's been a lot of discussion about that video and the video script. But yeah, that's kind of my TLDR on it, of like trying not to get into the weeds of it, because I'm like, oh, I really, really strongly believe that a lot of this should not have been public. But yeah, it's like a 2-hour long video. I would like to watch the video at some point soon. I have not had the chance to between Anime NYC and then work, but I did read the entirety of the video script that they linked along with the video itself. And, like, you know, I wouldn't say that I have zero criticisms with what they posted and some of the reasoning, but, like, overall, I was like, yeah, I totally understand why they did that. And I think it did clear up some confusion for some people about how they do things and why they came to the decision that they did. Yeah, I do agree. Like, my number one criticism was the timing. I was like, I don't know why they didn't delay this to come out later. That was like my number one criticism. I was like, I would have waited. Personally, I would have waited and waited until after Riptide. Not because I think anything is like actually going to happen at Riptide because of this, but just because like there's the possibility. And even though I think it's not likely, one thing I was really taught in journalism, in our ethics class, was you have to be very cognizant of the potential harm that you can cause by reporting on something, and then you have to ask yourself, is this worth it? Like, is this worth the potential harm that will come to the person I'm reporting on? And obviously, like, there are different levels and standards for this, whether somebody is like a very, very high level public figure, like the president, versus a private individual in a small town. Like, there are very different levels for how you need to weigh that. But like, that is one thing that I was taught that I still carry with me outside of journalism, where I'm just like, okay, like everything you do does have the potential to hurt something or somebody, and you have to ask yourself, is this worth it? And I'm like, considering how this wasn't so timely that it needed to come out in the next 2 weeks, I think it could have been pushed until after Riptide, essentially. So like, that's where I stand on that, where I'm like, I don't think anything will happen. I hope nothing happens. But like, I don't think it needed to come out right now. I think it could have waited and it would have been completely fine. Like, there would not have been harm from having waited a couple weeks. Yeah. Echoing what Felly said, what I took away from the video is that they take claims very seriously, check the information very carefully, and try to do it as much in the interest of the accuser, which in the context of Splat Safety is a good thing, actually. But the negative is that they shared a lot of information that might have been public already, but definitely got a bigger stage this way, which might discourage people to talk to Splat Safety. Yes, that final point is like really the like, I know there's the argument that people have of, oh, but like almost all of this was already public anyway from the accuser's side, from spreading a lot of this a year ago. And I feel like if I'm not going to be hypocritical, I need to be unhappy with Splat Safety sharing that information, like how I was a year ago when the accuser was sharing a lot of that information that I thought was very, very personal information. That absolutely was not necessary for knowing what was going on. And then I was just like, I'm very uncomfortable with how much I know about this. Like, this sucks. I've seen one thing that people have really been pushing for a couple of years now with Splat Safety is to make their ban lists public. And so, some points, they do already have a smaller version of their ban list that is available publicly, that you can go ahead and access. I believe it's in their Discord. That is pretty much for people who have like very, very high level offenses or very, very public people. But most of their ban lists are private. And I like that. A common criticism I've seen is that why not make these public? And so there's two reasons for that. One is that being public can actually hurt the accuser, the person who is not even the accuser at that point. It like Splat Safety has like ruled that like, yes, this person has done a harassment, and we've decided that we're going to ban them. That can put more heat on the person who reported it and draw more attention their way and bring more harassment their way. But like, then also the other point is that like, again, what is the potential harm of making a ban list public for the person who is banned? And so for some people, they're like, well, they did a bad thing and they got banned for it, so why do we care about protecting them? And I'm like, because that's just the right thing to do. That's just the right thing to do. Also, nobody's ever perfect enough, like correct in like their judgments on whether to ban somebody. Like nobody's perfect 100% of the time making that call. It's like the same, like similar idea where I was like, I'm very against the death penalty. I'm like, mistakes happen. Like people get things wrong and make the wrong like judicial call. And even if like that person did without a doubt do something very, very harmful, I don't want them to be harassed. Because I don't believe in punitive justice. And so I don't think we should want to bring harassment their way. There are people who disagree with me on that. I don't, like, emotionally, I don't really understand why people believe that way. I know it is a thing that people believe, but I don't agree with it. But like, it's just bad for all people involved. It's bad for the people reporting. It's bad for the people who got banned. It just leads to a really, really bad culture, in my opinion. So that's why I'm very, very against the idea of public ban lists. And whenever I see people bring that up, I'm like, no. I need to like talk about. I need to push back against that because like I really, really don't believe in that. Even for people where I'm like, I don't want them back in the scene. I think they're terrible. I still. Like, in general, I don't want to direct more harassment their way. I don't think it helps them be better. Also, we are getting pooped on! This blaster, the double blaster cop! I can't get in! Strike a hard balance between transparency and a large org putting a spotlight on people. Yeah, it is hard to strike that balance. And so I'm like, I know they were trying. I don't think they succeeded in every instance in what they were trying to do. But I think the attempt was there. And I mean, like, I understand a lot of their frustration, where they like have felt like they haven't been able to defend themselves. But yeah. Information on a need-to-know basis is one thing, but airing out dirty laundry is another, for real. I mean, I've made mistakes. I know a lot of people who have made mistakes. I'm very close friends with somebody who, like, was involved in some harassment of me in the past. And, like, you know, we didn't talk for many, many years. Like, we needed many years apart from each other. But, like, I saw how much she changed. And so, like, that's really given me, like, hope that, like, you know, some people can change for the better after they do something really, really terrible. And I know that's not true in, like, every single case, but you know, I've seen it happen. I think everyone can change. It's a question on if people are willing to do it. Yeah! You can bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. 100%.